Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Monday, August 29th, 2022. And we begin with the eyes of the world trained on Launch Pad 39B at Cape Canaveral, Florida, where a monster of a moon rocket will soon thunder skyward, if it hasn't already. The 32-story bright orange space launch system with a pointy Orion capsule at the top is scheduled to blast off, weather permitting, sometime between 8:33 and 10:30 East Coast time. There are no humans aboard, just Commander Moonikin Campus and two of his mannequin friends, all three of which are loaded with sensors to see how real-live astronauts will handle the trip when it's their turn. Also on board, TV character Shaun the Sheep, Amazon's Alexa, and a ton of cameras streaming all the action. For NASA, there's a lot riding on this mission. If it goes well, Artemis 1 will pave the way for the modern era of space travel, with humans hopefully putting boots back on the moon for the first time in more than 50 years, as early as 2025. You can watch today's countdown, launch, and flight on NASA's website. Last week, we told you about Dino tracks found in a Texas riverbed. Today, we bring you big, really big dinosaur news from a backyard in Portugal. A man doing some home remodeling found a few bones, called in the experts, and the rest is quite literally history. After a super careful excavation, they unearthed the remains of a massive prehistoric beast, a suspected Brachiosaurus that was 82 feet long and nearly 4 stories tall, with each rib measuring a mind-blowing 10 feet end to end. It's believed to be the biggest dino of its kind ever found in Europe. The Brachiosaurus was a plant eater with a long neck and tail that roamed the planet between 100 and 160 million years ago. Paleontologists suspect they'll find more remains nearby and plan to return to the site next year for more digging. The days of pharmaceutical companies publicly playing nice in the name of the pandemic are apparently over. Late last week, Moderna filed a lawsuit against Pfizer and BioNTech, saying those companies copied some of Moderna's groundbreaking technology to create their own COVID vaccine. Pfizer and BioNTech say they're surprised by the allegations and deny them. Moderna said it would have taken legal action sooner, but didn't want to distract from efforts to get as many people vaccinated as quickly as possible. He hasn't provided an answer for his much-talked-about absence, but he has now addressed it. Football's GOAT, Buccaneer quarterback Tom Brady, went before the cameras over the weekend for the first time since ditching training camp for 11 days. It's all personal, he told reporters. I'm 45 years old. There's a lot of stuff going on. Then, just in case anyone was worried that the time away might impact his game, he added, I've played football for a long time. I'm pretty good at it. Doesn't take long for me to remember how to play it. Every now and then, a bird needs to give his wings a rest and let someone else do the flying. Such was the case last week for Clark, a 19-year-old bald eagle headed home to the World Bird Sanctuary from a ceremony at High Point University in North Carolina. He and his handler booked a flight on Southwest, which led to a pretty memorable trip through the TSA line. The pictures made the rounds on social media, especially when Clark preened for the screener to show off his 6-foot wingspan. Once cleared, the twosome made their way to the gate and then to their seats. According to a statement sent to USA Today by Southwest, the airline makes special exceptions with certain organizations to allow animals like Clark to travel in cabin on its flights. That's it for KidNuz. A quick reminder, we are a nonprofit that runs on your generosity to remain ad-free and available to all at no cost. Please consider a donation of any amount. A link can be found on our website at kidnuz.org. Now, today's KidNuz quiz. How long were the rib bones of the Brachiosaurus found in a Portugal backyard? 10 feet. Why is Moderna suing Pfizer and BioNTech? For allegedly copying its COVID vaccine technology. How old is Clark, the bald eagle that flew on a commercial plane? 19. From which pad at Cape Canaveral is the moon rocket scheduled to launch? 39B. In today's KidNuz Kicker, the rocket NASA is using for Artemis 1 is the most powerful ever built. It's 322 feet tall and, when fully fueled for launch, weighs a staggering 5.75 million pounds. It's held to the launch pad by 8 enormous bolts, which are designed to shatter just before liftoff. According to CBS News, if the energy output of its engines was converted into electricity, it would power nearly 850,000 miles of streetlights on a road stretching to the moon and back, and then 15 times around the Earth. And when it's busting out of Earth's atmosphere, the rocket will be moving at 22,500 miles per hour, enough to cover 110 football fields every second. Before we close, we want to shout out our KidNuz teachers, including Mrs. Pavlowski and her Lions at Lions Park in Mount Prospect, Illinois. Mom, a.k.a. Mrs. Sneed, and her science whizzes at Edinburgh Academy Homeschool in Monroe, Louisiana. To California for Mrs. McDowell and her Roadrunners at Mint Canyon and Canyon Country, and Ms. Polden and her Roaring Zanker Jaguars at Pearl Zanker in Milpitas. And Mrs. Stegall and her Patriots at Lester B. Summer in Crawfordsville, Indiana. Thanks for listening. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.